always call Lawrence home. And when he would travel, Russia, he's been China, Japan, Africa, he would always refer to Kansas as his home. And even when he was writing, he'd say, Harlem is a good place to have people work out their problems because they do it in such a wonderful language, unlike the monosyllabic way they did it in Kansas. And Carrie, his mother, also looked at Lawrence as her home. She was born in Lakeview, right north of Lawrence, and raised in Lawrence, attended Lawrence High School, graduated from there. Her father started the first interstate literary society for black people in Lawrence. So Lawrence was a key place for them. But one of the points that Hughes tries to make when he's in front of the McCarthy Commission is that I just write the stuff. Now I write it, how people interpret it is up to them. If they want to see communism in it, then that's what they'll see. If they want to see democracy in it, then that's what they'll see. It's the reader who makes the interpretations, and I just write the words.
I loved her sense of generosity. Gwendolyn Brooks not only believed in creating work and exercising her own talent, but she wanted to see other people have that same joy and exercise their own creativity and show their own talent. So she was often seen in schools working with children, and she would always come with money, with scholarships, so they would have an opportunity to create and to practice their own craft of poetry writing. In fact, in 1994, an embarrassing moment at the conference was when she announced before her reading that she was awarding 3 prizes at the Chicago State Conference the next month. And she said those prizes would go to Loris Kendrick, Ishmael Reed, and Joanne Gavin. And of course, I'm sitting there, and I jump up, and I'm like this, I'm all crazy. She says, Joanne, sit down. And you know, her generosity was incredible. And when I went the next month to Chicago State and received that prize, she gave me a check for $2,000 and the George Kent Scholarship Award, one of the greatest honors I've ever received.
Why is it that with this long history, why is there not more information available on him?
As I can see it, as I perceive it, he was one of the many black people whom history bypassed, for whatever reason. Now we could approach it from a racist standpoint, because he outplayed a lot of white performers also, and that wasn't too popular at the time. Or it might have been that somebody like Cliff Watkins had to come along and just get curious and say, let's see who this P.G. Lowry fellow was. Because this is a spin-off of my doctoral dissertation. I wrote about 3 black college band directors who did their biographies. And I had my laundry list of questions I was going to ask each subject. One question being, who inspired you? And the 3 subjects all gave me a set of different names, but all 3 of them said P.G. Lowry. And they made me feel about this tall, because I didn't know who P.G. Lowry was, even though I was only 2 years old when he died. So I just made sort of a mental note that one day I'm going to find out about this P.G. Lowry. So ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Right down to earth. This is, my name is Angela Logan, and the Lorenzo Fuller documentary is my first attempt at a real documentary film. And let me tell you, when I started working with Mr. Fuller's life, I had to live up to the level of my own incompetence, to tell you the absolute truth, because his life was so incredible. The question was, where do you start with his life? Lorenzo Fuller is an African-American television and radio pioneer. And the film you're about to see is a demonstration of my work with the film, because we have, as a first-time filmmaker, you have to have your own film in order to get funding. And the question, and I've received so much help trying to put this film together, but I'll tell you about that later. But right now, the documentary will be about Lorenzo Fuller, who is a young Kansas music prodigy who grew to be one of the most prolific artists of the live radio and television era to be omitted from its history.
Character, I'm not quite sure where the jack leg part comes from. I think it has something to do with some kind of backhanded kind of thing. They were just a preacher that was taking advantage of the black community in some form or another. And Micheaux had a very, all of his movies in some form or another had a jack-leg preacher in the film. I think it had, as you can see in the film there, and in the documentary we watched earlier, he consistently kind of shows his problem with black religion. And in that scene where the Uncle Tom, he's probably more Uncle Tom than he is Jack-leg preacher in this film. His role is to kind of keep the black community in check, and so he gets paid by the white community to kind of keep black folks in line. And whereas a jack-leg preacher is more of a hustler, more of a straight out kind of guy that is taking money and probably is fooling around with some of the women in the choir, and is a sinner, and at the same time is preaching against sin and all that. Whereas this guy's probably more Uncle Tom than he is Jack-leg preacher. But Micheaux, either way, Micheaux was a constant critic of the black church and saw the black church as not responding to the needs of the black community. Saw religion, as he kind of puts it here, that all black folks are interested in is getting to heaven, not interested in solving problems down here on earth. And Micheaux was very much interested in solving problems down here on earth. Right. Do a little test screening here and tell me what you think about the film. So afterwards, please tell me what you think. And if you don't like it, you do like it, you think I should be run out of town, whatever you feel like, just tell me what you think, And one of the really cool things about when we show these films here is that it's like a nice little community out here, and this is a movie that's pretty much everybody in the film that worked on the film is from Kansas, and so we're very proud of it, obviously. So anyway, I'll shut up and let's see the film. And I should let you know that one of the stars of the movie is here, so you can run him out of town with me later on also. Ranjit Arab, one of the stars of the film. So hope you guys enjoy it.